Sam, we're on the verge of our round one clash against the Bombers. How do you reflect on this pre-season to this point?
When you look over the scope of the whole pre-season, I feel with some optimism about some progression that we've made, and lots of our individual players have taken some huge gains. I think the obvious focus has been on second and third year players, but I think if you look at the group a little bit older than that, I think you look at the Jai's game in the pre-season against the Dogs. He obviously took his game to another level. I think James Worpel physically has taken his body to another level. I think some of the progression of individual players has been significant. I think we've built a game style that is quite consistent, and whether or not we can do that week in and week out for 4 quarters is going to be the great challenge for us, because if we can, I think that we're going to hold up quite well. But I think the optimism I've got across the course of the whole pre-season is significant, but it's probably a little bit subdued over the couple of pracky matches where the dogs got hold of us at different times.
What are some of the things we've been maybe trialling or implementing over the summer? Obviously the big one's been Blake Hardwick in the forward line, but is there anything else you can give an insight into for the fans about what we've been practicing over the summer?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that you practice in a summer, and not all of them come to fruition. And I think the front half of the ground is significantly different. Obviously, we brought Guinea over from Collingwood and Big Marbs down from the Gold Coast. So the front half changes significantly, and along with getting Jack Gunston back and getting the Wizard in early in the draft, the forward half of the ground is a work in progress. The talent that we have there is much more significant, but how to make that group gel together, how to get the best out of them, that's been a significant amount of work. I think Adrian Hickbott has done a fantastic job of getting them bonded and close together, but they just haven't spent enough hours together out on the field against genuine opposition just yet. But that's been a significant work in progress. I think defensively, we've tried a few things across the summer, and we've tried to tighten up a few aspects of the game, and we're getting a little bit more down to detail as far as close game scenarios, structures at kick-ins and kick-in defence and things like that. I think we've started to refine our method to make sure that we're a bit more of an attention to detail team.
And injuries are a common part of footy, and we've been unfortunately struck by a couple. What kind of opportunities does it open for those second year players in particular that you were speaking about before?
I think we got quite fortunate last year. If you looked at the injury list across the whole season, we were quite fortunate in 2023. Other than the Mitch Lewis one in the early part, which did throw our structures out quite a lot, I thought for the rest of the season our injury list was quite healthy. And obviously it's a bit of a challenge this year with the way that we've started, particularly with a lot of them being defenders. Every club is going to have different periods of injury, and we need to make sure that we're always putting out a team, and our list is in a position where you're always filling them with players who can play the role, and it's going to lead to enormous opportunities for other players to fill some of those roles. And whether it's Will Days, obviously I think everyone had put his name in pen to start this season, and that's going to create opportunities. And whether that's for Henry Hustwaite or for Cam McKenzie, for guys like that who have had really strong pre-seasons, I think we wouldn't see them as much if Will was playing. So it's going to give them great opportunities, and that's what careers are built from, really. I think these young players, sometimes it just takes an injury and a lucky break to give you the opportunity to play, and then we can see what they're really capable of.
You spoke about that midfield group. It was one of the success stories from last year. How do you keep evolving that space with the likes of Henry and Cam and Josh Ward? How do those players fit into the mix, and how do they add to that space?
I think we're going into the last year's pre-season. I think the midfield was going to be an area of concern. We obviously lost some senior personnel, and then this year it's a bit of a different challenge, because that area actually held up reasonably well in 2023. So their challenge as a collective is, can they back that up? I think the best midfields are strong week after week, month after month, year after year, and we haven't proven ourselves in that stage to be at that stage just yet. But I think the change of that group is going to be, can they evolve? Can they continue to manage themselves and manage their minutes and get the best out of themselves from an intensity point of view? The other aspect is, I think when we don't have the game on our terms, can we control the narrative of the game? Can we control momentum better than we have in the past? And that's definitely been a work in progress for us, and something we haven't quite mastered just yet.
And we'll enter 2024 as still one of the youngest teams in the competition. Obviously, we've had a focus on development over the last couple of seasons, but what does that next step look like for us in 2024?
Yeah, I mean, we're still going to be a very young side. I think we've got some really talented youngsters, which I think we're all excited to see. And I was really rapt last year that the Hawks fans came to all of our games, and I think our crowd numbers were fantastic. So the fact that we've got people supporting our youth and our program as we continue to bud and to grow that group, it's going to be really visible watching the growth in those players. And I think that the challenge for us is how consistently can the senior players around them play to make sure they're scaffolded and feeling good about their football, when perhaps inconsistency is a natural part of youth, and making sure that our senior players are more consistent around them to ensure that as a collective we have consistent performances.
And during your third year as coach, how have you seen yourself kind of evolve over the last 2 seasons as well?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first year really I've had to try to change a few things and keep things fresh. And I think, I think the introduction of some other coaches has been fantastic. I think Brett Ratton coming in has given me a few insights and given me some other ideas for how to go about things, and lean heavily on Still and Andy Collins, who has been with me since I was coaching Box Hill. And when I have those two guys with so much coaching experience, you're always learning. You're always your harshest critic, and making sure that you're getting the best out of the group and playing your role as the coach, and trying to help the players get the best out of themselves.
And lastly, just to our fans and members, what's something that they should be looking forward to from the Hawks in 2024?
To all of our fans, thank you for coming along to the games and for signing up this year. We're rapt to have you on our journey, and while we expect there's still going to be some ups and downs, I think the ups that we show are going to be some excitement, and we're going to be a team that shows a brand of footy that you're going to want to come and watch.